In this video, I'm going to be modeling for you some of the concepts and ideas that we are doing in fourth grade with measurement. So we are starting off in fourth grade with the metric system. And one big thing that we talk about is how the metric system kind of models our place value system. So in our place value system, there's that base unit of ones, and ones can make tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. And then ones can also be broken into smaller parts. Well, here with the metric system, we have base units, and there's a relationship of tens. So here with length, we're going to be using the meter. And just like with our place value system, this is less than a meter, and these are greater than 1 meter. So if here's our base unit, we always want to remember that smaller units make the larger unit. So I like to start with my meter, and here it's like tens, hundreds, thousands, so it's 1,000 meters make that kilometer. Okay, so they got to remember that kilo, and it'll come up in a moment. Again, then also here we have 1,000, just like tenths and hundredths. So 100 small centimeters make a meter, and 1,000 teeny millimeters make a meter. And then here the relationship next door is by 10, so 10 tiny millimeters make a small centimeter. So you'll notice everything is by tens and hundreds and thousands, just like our regular place value system. With mass and weight, we are using the gram as our base unit, and then thinking tens, hundreds, thousands. So 1,000 small grams make that kilogram. And then lastly, capacity. We will be using the liter for capacity. So with that, we actually aren't doing anything larger than a liter, but we need to think there is something smaller than a liter, and the one we're going to be focusing on is the milliliter. So tenths, hundreds, thousands, 1,000 tiny milliliters make that liter. Now later on in their learning, they'll learn about these place values, but we're going to be focusing on centimeters, millimeters, kilometers, kilograms, and milliliters, and their relationship to those bases. All right, so the fourth graders need to be familiar with just the relationship and where each unit is coming from and where it can grow to. They also need to be able to convert only from large to small. We will not be going from small to large, but they need to be able to go from large to small. So I'll give you a simple example and then a more complex example. So for the simple example, here we have 4 kilograms, and that's like 4 big dictionaries. So I always tell them a big textbook, like a dictionary, is 1 kilogram. So this is like 4 big dictionaries. And I want to know how many grams that is. I always tell them to think about, well, what's the base relationship of kilograms and grams? Well, 1 kilogram comes from 1,000 grams. And then if I look here, I multiplied my kilograms by 4. So I'm going to multiply my grams by 4. So 4 times 1,000 is 4,000. So 4 kilograms is the same as 4,000 grams. Another simple example is 5 liters, okay? And it's how many milliliters? Well, let's see here. Let me go back to that base relationship. 1 liter comes from 1,000 milliliters. So if I multiplied my liters by 5, let me multiply my milliliters by 5. Oh, 5,000. All right, so that's a simple example of how they might have to convert. Now let me give you a more complex one, a more real world. So let's say someone needs 2 liters of lemonade, but the store only sells them in 500 milliliter cans. Well, you need to problem solve there. How many cans do I need to buy so I can get 2 liters? What I always tell the fourth graders is if you're given information in liters and milliliters, instead of having your brain keep going back and forth, just convert it to the smaller unit and make it all 1. So what I like to do is I like to think, okay, well, I have 2 liters, but I want to change it into milliliters. So I'm only focusing on milliliters because I know I got to be buying milliliters. So let me just forget about the liters and just turn them to milliliters. Well, if I know 1 liter comes from 1,000 milliliters, then if I multiply my liters by 2, let me multiply my milliliters by 2. So that's, all right, 2,000 milliliters is what I need, okay? But it doesn't end there. I have to buy cans of 500. Well, if I buy 1 can of 500, okay, that's 500. If I buy another can of 500, well, if I put that together, 500 and 500 is 1,000. All right, I'm getting closer. And then you could either recognize, oh, well, if that's 1,000, I need to double it to get 2,000. So if 2 of these is 1,000, I could get another 2, or just keep adding. Another 500 would give me 1,500, and then another 500 would give me 2,000. So I did 1 can, 2 cans, 3 cans, 4 cans. I need 4 cans of 500 milliliters. Gets me 2 liters, which is that 2,000 milliliters. So remember that. I always recommend, if I'm given liters and milliliters, convert it all, change it all to that smaller unit, because that's what we're doing in 4th grade, large to small. And then you only have to focus on one thing. I only had to focus on getting 500 milliliter cans to 2,000 milliliters. I didn't have to keep going back to, is that a liter? Is that 2 liters? All right, so remember, we are converting from large to small. Everything is based on groups of 10 or 100 or 1,000. So I think about our regular place value system can help you remember the metric system. And then go back to that base relationship if you need to when you are converting.